Well, then how do we do the intro?
What's up, guys? It's your girl Mekaylajene and
G Money.
I'm bringing you another banger.
You know you a star, you can touch the sky. I know that it's hard, but you have to try. If you need advice, let me simplify.
Like, you got a
So
dope
people
channel.
ask me, basically, Mekayla, how did you prepare to find? I think they say soulmate, your partner.
Yeah, they were asking pretty much how you prepare for love from the right person.
Yes. So this entire video, as you can see down below, we will be talking about what we went through personally to prepare for each other to enter our lives.
Yes.
Basically. You want to start? Or you want me to start?
You start.
Rock, paper, scissors? Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. You start.
I won.
Oh, so I go first?
Scissors, yeah.
Okay. So, let's rewind back. So George and I met in 2018. And before I met George, way back. So it's like 5 years prior to, I was in a relationship with someone. Basically, long story short, the relationship ended because of I got cheated on. Let's just be honest. I got cheated on. So I said, you know what? That was just too much. I gave so much of myself to this individual, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, like everything you can think of, I gave to this person. And at that point in time, once I found out that I was cheated on, I said, okay, how can I change the next outcome whenever I give myself to somebody? So I said, you know what? I have to be by myself for a while. I need to find out who Mekayla is, what I like to do, what I love about myself, what are hobbies that I enjoy. So for the 5 years, I was just solo dolo, figuring out myself. So I had a connection with God, like me and God's relationship increased like crazy. At that point, that's when I went to get my master's. So I went back to school. I cut some friends off throughout the long way. Had some new friends come into my life. I found out that I enjoy fitness like nobody's business. I just learned a lot about myself. I just learned a lot about myself during that time. And people just say, like, why did you do it? Like, what was the point? Why didn't you date? Well, I did communicate with individuals. Like, I was talking to other people. But I never took people serious because I knew I was working on myself. And I knew if I wanted to entertain someone aggressively, because that's what my next relationship would be. It would be an aggressive relationship towards marriage. So if I wanted to do that with anyone, I had to work on myself within. So that's why I took so much time out to work on Mekayla. And when George came around, this is another video for another time. We're not going to talk about how we met. But when George came around, I was in my last year of my master's program and living in Virginia. And I was not looking for anybody. Like, again, he was just going to be one of those, like, okay, let's just make sure I still got my swag. I was trying to make sure I still have my game, still fresh in the game, could still chat it up with somebody, cool. But it became something way more than I expected. So I think that the most important thing is, when it comes to waiting, is to figuring out who you are, what you want, what you can tolerate when it comes to another person coming into your life, and what you need from somebody. Because I thought I needed a lot of things, and we'll go into that. But I thought I needed so much from somebody else that was going to be my partner, which I really didn't need any of that stuff. So that's what I did during my time of figuring before he came into my life.
And before I get into mine, you getting so much from me. Don't act like
I'm not saying
okay. Well, you said so much. Like, I needed 10 things. Lil G came with just 2.
Yeah, but no, like.
All right, well, I just had to clear that
up. You came with a
bro.
lot of things, but.
I came with dang near all of them.
There's needs and wants in a life, right?
And
I thought I needed all. No, yeah, I wanted all these things, but I didn't realize I needed all these other things.
That's how you say that, and that's what I love about you.
All right, so what was you doing during this time?
But now for me, it's a similar story. Man, I've been a lot of places in my life relationally, and I've tried a lot of different things. I've had my ideas about what I want a relationship to be. And for the longest time, I had this notion that, I'm going to marry my best friend. And that's a great idea. Thing about best friends is they know there's a difference in finding somebody connected with them and becoming best friends. And there's a difference from having somebody who's been there the whole time and just have seen everything and accepted all of it and challenged you on no level. And in my mind, that's what a best friend was. I was like, okay, I need a woman that's seen how I function, how I operate, and she just knows that this is who she is. I was wrong about that. And after I exhausted my last quote unquote best friend, I guess exploited this kind of a word, I realized that I got some real issues. And I gave my life to Christ on January 19, 2013. So I was 25, just turned 25 years old. That about a month prior to that, December 28th, I had turned 25 years old. And I gave my life to Christ, and I was like, look, I said, if you real, I thought my mom was going to pray me into heaven. I said, God, if you real, then I need you to bring some peace into my life, because this ain't working. I start out hot, I end up ice cold, and 5 years, not five, I met you 2018, 5 years, 2013, 2018. So 5 years before I ever knew Mekaylajene existed, I was like, yo, I'm done. There is a woman out here in this world for me, and I got to prepare for her, because if she is as great as I want my wife to be, then this guy that I am right now is just not good enough to have her. And I was right. It took me 5 years to get to a place where I was ready to do the work, because relationships are work.
Work.
It took 5 years of preparation to begin to get ready to do the work that I had to do to keep this woman, to get her and keep her. And one thing that really has accelerated our growth, and as she said, our aggressiveness, is I knew exactly what I wanted. Like the first conversation we had, I was already hinting at, hey, this is where I want us to go.
And the crazy thing is, like, you were ready.
Yep.
He was seeking, if you ask me, George was seeking a wife.
Absolutely.
I was seeking somebody to text. Like, I'm in grad school, I just want to talk to somebody. So we were on two different pages. So his foot was to the gas, all the way gas to the ground. Mine, I'm like, all right, let's slow down a little bit. You move a little too fast. Like, he starts talking about marriage pretty quickly.
Immediately.
His questions were very tough questions, like right off the bat, like real questions. And we'll talk about hard questions, but he asked questions with substance, not just like, what's your favorite color? What do you like to do on the weekends? More so, what's your favorite Bible verse? Why do you serve God? Did you ever give your life to Christ? Like those types of questions. And who your mama them? Like those types of questions.
What's your mama's history?
But like, it helped. But again, I wasn't there when I first met him. So it took me some time to get to where he was. But I remember, I don't want to go into another topic for another day, but I remember after the first conversation I had with him, I called my great-grandmother, and I was like, Grandma, like, I found my husband. Mind you, I wasn't looking for no husband. But it was just something inside of him that I was like, you know what? This is I don't like to say better half, because I feel like you're a whole person when you come in, when you meet somebody. Yeah. But, this is my partner. Like, this is my life partner. I believe this is it. And little did we know.
Little did she know. I knew. But this is the thing that solidified it for me early on. The first time that we spoke on the phone, I'll never forget this night. I was at one of my friends' house hanging out, and it was late in the evening. It was like around 9 o'clock in the evening. I don't know what day you're talking about. Our very first phone conversation. Our very first phone conversation, we talked for 3 hours. Yeah. Like 3.5, 4 hours. Talk. It was incredibly long, but it was amazing. Didn't feel like it though. From that conversation, we had a minor dispute, because Mekaylajene is an amazing woman, and amazing women in our generation, they're gonna make tremendous names for themselves. But I'm old school, and you remember the argument where we was like should a woman change her last name? Oh yeah. Oh my God. And she was like, I don't know. And I understand why, because she's gonna be a phenomenal success with or without me. But as a man, I'm like, oh nah, that you changing your last name. And
we had to talk about that.
Yeah, we
and for women that keep their last name, I have no issue with it.
Hey, if your husband ain't got no issue with it, I ain't got no issue with it. But for me and my wife,
your name.
We are Heinzes. But
well, I'm gonna change my name because we
love each other. No, because she's gonna change. What it ultimately boils down to is there's a level of value that I have to present to her. But the first thing before we even got to the value was this is my reasoning as to why I feel a woman should change her last name, and this is why it's so valuable for a man. And what she did was, once we got off that phone call, she went and done some homework, and she came back to me and she was like, "Hey, G, you were right. Like, I would."
Not you was right. Because I believe that some women can keep their name. So if I was a doctor prior to meeting him, I would not change my name. It would be Parks-Hines. Like,
So,
it wouldn't be changed.
More to this story, fellas, is marry her before she becomes a doctor.
Because when I go get my PhD, if
She
it
gonna
happened
be
tomorrow,
Mekaylajene Hines.
it would have been Mekaylajene Parks-Hines, okay?
All right, well, hey, fellas, it's all about timing. It's all about timing. Spare yourself the heartache and the ego trip. Find her early and wipe her up now. And then pay for what is it? It ain't med school. What is it?
PhD.
You then pay for her PhD.
But yeah, so the moral of the story is we did a lot of work prior to meeting each other.
Yes.
And going back to what we were saying, what I was saying is knowing your needs and your wants. So it was a lot of things. So I wanted somebody who was 6 foot tall, somebody, he could be a lawyer, a doctor, superficial stuff. I wanted him to have a nice little beard.
It's nice. It's little too, so I
I
got
got
you.
a beard.
It's nice and little. Boom.
Oh, they have a beard. I was like, I want him to be pet friendly because I may want a dog later down the line.
Yeah, I used to be a dog, so you got everything.
Raymond.
Babe, you got all of it.
So there was a lot of things I had in my needs, but I didn't know that But in my need pal, I didn't know that I needed somebody who could really. I got a big attitude. I'm a big person. I need somebody to help me mellow down. I need somebody who can lead me and guide me the correct way because, like I said, I got a big personality. I'm a lot of person. So he just helped me with that, and he helps me grow. He challenges me on a daily basis, and I don't take a lot of stuff from a lot of people. And for some reason, the way he talks, the way we communicate, it's just effective for our relationship. It may not be good for your relationship, but for as me and my house, be good. So. Yes, those are my needs. Well, not even all of them, but those are just one need that I thought I did not need because I was an independent woman and I could do all this stuff. And I still am independent. Let's not get past that. But having my significant other here has helped a lot.
Yeah, and for me, man, I knew I needed a challenge. I have a very domineering presence, and I don't think I try to do it. I don't think it's a conscious attempt to be domineering. But like I said, I'm old school from the country, man. And, at some point in my life, all the women that I love and respect were stay-at-home moms. And there's an aspect of that I just kind of expected for my life and for my marriage. Now, granted, I had done the work spiritually. I had done the work emotionally. I had done the work physically. I had done the work, mentally, spiritually, physically, emotionally. I hadn't done the financial work. I had went through a time in my life where I'm a very extreme guy, and sometimes my extremities put me in bad situations. But I knew I was ready to be a husband emotionally in some of those areas. The thing that I had to work on and begin to grow with was financially, because I have a big vision for my life, and I have an entrepreneurial spirit. And financial struggle is not something that I'm completely opposed to. I know I'm not going to be poor my entire life, but it was something that I just wasn't opposed to. And Mekaylajene came into my life, and she brought a level of practicality to me in regards to how you reach the goal. And I'm just like, I had to let go of my ego, and I had to start from the ground up. And it's just, hey, this is how you save $10. And when you save $100, this is what you do with that $100. And this is how you go from 100 to 1,000. And this is how you build a credit score. And this is why credit score is important. And the irony in all that is I got a degree in finance.
And I don't.
And it's the most beautiful thing about who we have become, who we are becoming, is that at some point prior to us meeting each other, we had decided that we needed to grow. And I think we have continued to foster that attitude throughout this relationship, and it really helps us continue to go forward.
Yeah, the growing process never stops. When you stop growing, then that's something you got to check yourself. You should never stop growing, never stop wanting to grow, never stop wanting to learn. When you stop learning, I mean, and my teacher used to say, if I'm not learning something from my students on a daily basis, then I need to stop teaching. So there's that. Yeah. So to wrap this video up, again, before you find somebody else, like before you get into a relationship and basically give yourself to somebody completely, or try to give yourself to somebody completely, you need to do the hard work. You need to look at yourself, analyze who you are, know what your needs and your wants are, and see which ones really matter to you. The wants, it's a want. A need is what you need. Like, we need water to live every single day. So just go ahead, analyze yourself, analyze your situation, what you need, what you want, and you'll be great. So hope you guys enjoyed that video. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel if you have not done yet so far. If you would like to see more video content from us, let us know. Let us know down below in the comment section. Anything you got to say, Lex?
I loved it.
All right. Until next time, guys. We'll see y'all later. Peace!